So I've got Vanessa here from Talking the Talk Sex Education, and we've obviously covered a lot of content throughout the app, and one of the things that often comes up is around body safety and how do we set our little ones up so that they are aware and they are safe, because obviously as your little ones start going to places like daycare and preschool and venturing off to eventually sleepovers, which my daughter was asking to do recently and it freaked me out. Just making sure that we can support them in the right way. So I'd love to know, is there a bit of a guide with body safety? I mean, how do we know that we're covering the right things off and doing the right thing?
Yeah, there's a very simple basic rules to think of and keep in mind. I'll just add in that point when you're talking about sleepovers, so those older kids, change the theme to protective safety when it comes to older kids, because then you want to talk about all kids that have access to the internet. Protective safety means safety online as well. Body safety can keep us very narrow, so we need to think about their exposure to the internet, etc. too. So back to body safety for the basics for the little ones, there's 5 simple rules that are based on keeping children safe, based on research that we know of what happens in predatory situations or where people abuse children. And they are that instilling within them that their body is their body and what they say goes. And I use that from one of the books from Janie and Sanders. So they get to choose who touches their body, who they kiss and hug, how they greet, and it's about them having body autonomy.
And does that start as early as, I know we've touched on before, the playground? I had a story from my little one the other day saying that someone was trying to force her to do something and she wasn't quite comfortable doing it. So we did have the conversation around that was her body and what she says goes. So if she doesn't feel comfortable and she's feeling a bit funny about something, she has the right to say no. Is that doing the right thing, and does that all relate somehow?
Yeah, it does all relate. So we teach little children about their body boundary and their personal body space, and that they are in charge of that, and they even get to draw a circle around their body, and one child coloured in the whole picture and said, my body boundary is this whole page.
Wow.
That was their conception of it. And one little one said, my body boundary is like a gate. I lock it and I let people in when I choose. And then the teachers and the parents backed that up the week later and said that since you've come in and spoken to the children, they're using words like consent and body safety. And so that situation in the playground is about the child learning consent at a young age. And so having a discussion about negotiating a mutually enjoyable activity to play without feel like they're having to appease the other person or give in to the other person's needs. Having those skills instilled helps them later on in their relationships when they're in difficult scenarios or things that are confusing for them.
Does that tie in with, I guess, resilience? And because I know something else that I was recently observing was the whole sharing thing and always having to give up to please someone else. The little brother and sister always want your toys. Oh, well, you're going to have to do that. And I think over time that could be quite damaging because they do need to feel ownership and they do need to feel comfortable that, if they are expressing the way that they feel, they are being heard.
That's right. And when they know that their body is their body, they get to say what happens. And if that's breached, so the next thing for them to think about, if we think of 5 things, is their early warning signs. So you talk to them about their early warning signs. Heart beating fast, feeling sick in the tummy, feeling like you want to cry, feeling sweaty, hands on hair standing on end. And you can say, that feeling when a dog barks at you or you lose your adults in the shops. If you get that feeling because someone is making you feel like that, a big kid or an adult is doing that to you, and you need to say big kids as well, they're natural early warning signs telling them that you need to do the 3rd thing on the 5 rules, and that's tell someone on your safety network. And so actually have a conversation with your kids about safety network. There's lots of different versions of this. I like to use all 10 fingers. I like them to nominate 5 people at school or childcare who they can go to if they've got a problem, and actually name the people. And 5 people outside of school or daycare that they would go to if they've got a problem. It can't be the guinea pig. Yes, your guinea pig makes you feel better, but they can't help you with an adult problem. They always ask that. What about my rabbit? No, it needs to be an adult over 18 that can help you with the problem. And so they can name them, mums, if they've got 2 mums, dad, grandma, trusted adults that they can go to.
And then school teachers, it's okay.
And actually naming it. And one of the reasons we need to have 5, unfortunately, on each hand in each scenario is because it takes 3 adults before someone believes a child when they disclose sexual abuse.
Really?
That's a whole other topic on its own. But there's a lot of reasons why adults don't understand the cues. We haven't done enough research to know what we should be looking out for. Kids don't just come out and say it.
Yes.
People are too busy, all those sorts of things, so
Right.
they need 5, unfortunately.
Interesting.
So it's their body is their body. The early warning signs, go to someone on your safety network, and no one should tell you a bad secret. Gives you your early warning
I'm big
signs.
on not having secrets. It's a bit
Absolutely.
of a theme that pops up from time to
I
time.
had to tell Nana that we don't have secrets, Nana, so the chocolate biscuits, when she said, don't tell Mummy you're having these.
Yes,
I
I've
had to
heard
say, Nana,
someone
actually,
say, don't tell
we don't
Mummy
have
we're going to do
secrets.
this, and I was like,
We tell Mummy everything, or
Yes.
Daddy, or whoever the
Yes.
carers are. So we have happy surprises about the birthday present, because they will always be told.
happy
But
surprise.
happy surprises. But the bad secret, when a big kid or an adult says to you, don't tell anyone about this, this is just our little thing, and it gives you early warning signs, straight to someone on your safety network.
Okay.
And in that, reminding them where their private parts are. So their private parts are under their bathers, and it also includes their mouth. Everybody's mouth is a private part. And teachers will say to me, can you talk to them about kissing and hugging each other, the little preppies at school? And they need to talk, they need to get consent to give someone a kiss or a hug of even their friends,
yes.
because lots of kids are like, don't touch me or hug me.
Yes.
It's not just adults as well. Of course, children aren't, those that, if they're on the same age level, it's not a safety issue. But there are times when it is a safety issue if the child has power over the other one based on
Right.
age or intellect or etc.
I am curious about that because we are venturing into
Yeah.
kindergarten next year, and it is, you know, you do hear these things. You know, I was at a little kid's birthday party and I heard one of them say, "Oh, such and such wants to marry you," and I was like, "Whoa, hang on, are we getting to this stage now?" So then I thought, well, the natural next thing is it's going to be the playground situation. So is that something that then we as parents would let them know that, you know, if that we are starting to catch on that these things are occurring in the playground, that, you know, that it is...
Yep, definitely go and check the traffic light model of what is expected normal childhood sexual behaviour. Role-playing marriage is one of them, and they're surrounded by it. They see it on TV, so they say that sort of thing. They don't know how to describe their like and their connection with a friend, but they're role-playing. And you can just say things like, yeah, but marriage is for adults and you two are special friends or great friends.
Okay.
You know, I feel like I remember saying to my kids when they were in like sort of 10 and 11, so what is a girlfriend? What is the difference between a friendship and a girlfriend?
Yeah, how do
Boyfriend,
they don't know it.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
You walk around the soccer oval together at lunchtime.
Ah,
That makes a girlfriend. So I went on with that teachable moment and I said to them, so, well, at what age would school kids start, you know, kiss each other or something in a relationship like that? So we ended up having a really good conversation about when you would or wouldn't, what my expectations were for that.
Hopefully I'm a long way off that, I hope.
That was in late primary school.
Was it? Oh, good.
Good luck.
Good.
But keeping that positive face and just thinking
Yes.
this is a teachable moment to put in my values, my family, our opinions, and you're just putting in little bits all the time. It's not one big talk. It's like, on the TV, why would they say that to their boyfriend or girlfriend? Married at First Sight maybe shows how, you know, kids are getting a sexuality education whether you like it or not. I call it the media bubble, from TV, from everywhere. We need to fill this other bubble from school and home to counteract that information. Little kids are absorbing it all.
And it's from...
Constantly counteracted.
Yeah. I love that. I have heard you say that before, and I love the fact that, yes, they're getting exposed to that from such a young age, but making sure we're getting in there, balancing it out, educating them from the get-go.
Exactly, and bringing those body safety rules into examples that are on TV all the time brings it back in when you're being specific as well. So.
Yeah. Another thing that I do remember you saying, and it's quite, you know, evident for me with the little ones, is they always bring things up in the car. So we'll be driving home, and this is where you start to hear what's happening at school and in the playground. So I think that whole teachable moment thing does really stick with me, because I think, what can you do in those moments to be educating them and teaching them?
The car, they're locked in, they're a captive audience, and you're all facing forward, so you don't have to look at each other. So I tell kids, ask your adults, because I'm trying to generate conversations in families, because you'd be surprised, unfortunately, how many adults don't talk to their kids. I say to the kids, ask your adults about what's it like, what's the best bit about growing up, or tell me about my story of when I was born. And I also say to adults, have the conversations in the car.
Yes.
It's the perfect place.
It's a good space. Well, that's going to be me.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
It's a pleasure.
I find that really interesting. Body safety is such an important topic. Is there anything that we wanted to touch on with that, or we
No, just except to add in protective safety. That's another topic, talking about online safety as well.
Oh gosh, we could dive into that one, couldn't we? I hope you got something out of that, and be sure to follow all of Vanessa's content. She has such practical information that will hopefully guide you through this stage.